What's up everybody, Trinity here, and welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. In today's video, I'm going to once again be doing an indie comic bulk review. And yeah, comic bulk, because I'm doing a bunch of indie comic book reviews in bulk, so that's why it's called that. So now before I get into that, guys, I want to let you know, make sure that you stay to the end of the video, because at the end of the video, I'm going to be finding out what's in this package. We're all going to find that out together here at the same time. So let's go ahead and get right into that. So like I said, make sure, don't say I didn't warn you. You guys are going to want to see what's in this package. So we're going to get started off with on Image Comics, one of the books that I pulled this week, and that's Reaver issue number 6. Guys, this is the 6th and final issue in the Reaver, in this first arc of story arc of Reaver. Now this book is being written by Justin Jordan. He is the writer and creator. Rebecca Isaacs is the artist and creator. Alex Gumerez is the colorist, and Clayton Cowles is the letterer. And John Moisen is the editor. Becky Cloonan is the cover artist. Andreas Juarez is on logo design, and Karina Taylor is on production design. I'm going to go ahead and show you that title page there, where you can go ahead and take a look at any of those names there, just in case I messed any of those up. You know, it happens from time to time. This book right here, like I said, it's the 6th in this first story, the 6th and last book in this first arc of the Reaver series, basically the volume 1, and we can see here at the very back of the book, they advertise the volume 1 getting ready to come out on a trade paperback in February, guys, was it February 12th? Of 2020. So you know, you got some time to go out there and pick this book up. And then it also tells us, once you flip the page, that we are getting issue number 7 coming in March. So that's, you know, that's a good thing. This you guys, I'll show you guys a little bit of the art in this book. Let me see if I can find a good page for you guys to see some of the art, some of the coloring going on in this book. This book, like I said, it's been pretty good. I can't remember, I think I did a review of like maybe issue number 2 and issue number 1. I could be wrong there. You can find them here on the channel. I like this series overall. 6 issues did seem to be a little bit long for probably this first story arc. I felt somewhere, I don't know, maybe around issue 4 or 5, it felt like the story was kind of dragging along, kind of moseying along. I think they probably could have maybe cut a little bit of things out here and got this all wrapped up in 5 issues for this first story arc. I could be wrong. There's nothing bad about it. I just kind of felt, you know, somewhere around the middle it seemed to slow down a little bit. Altogether, I did like this story and what was going on in the story, and the characters we're introduced to. We kind of got this, it's kind of like a team-up book. I would say somewhere along the lines of, I've never read it, but it's like Suicide Squad. You know, I've seen the movie, that counts, right? Where you got a group of people coming together to go and complete a mission, and all these people have been not necessarily, not bad guys, but probably definitely not your normal textbook version of a hero. So they all came together to complete this mission, in which the mission, man, I can't really say for sure what the mission was, other than stopping some other people and using people as a hand puppet. Just some crazy things going on in this book. Again, I think I'm going to go back and kind of reread, skim through all these books again, kind of refresh, and then bring you guys a full review of this first story arc that is getting ready to come out in trade paperback on in February. So again, I thought the series was pretty good. The next one I want to talk about here is on Boom Studios. Boom Studios has been doing a very good job with their books this year, but this one is Something is Killing the Children, issue number 4, and this is the B cover here on this book. Now, the writer of this book is James Tynion IV. It's illustrated by Werther Del Adera and colored by Miguel Muerto, and lettered by And World Design. Cover is by Werther Del Adera, with colors by Giovanna Nero, and unlocked retailer variant cover by Michael Walsh. I'm going to go ahead and show you these guys' these people's names here, because I can guarantee you I did butcher some of those names here along the way. Now, this book right here is basically telling us the story about these monsters that are in these little that are seems to be happening in these small towns in which children are coming up missing and actually even being murdered. And we learn a little bit of exactly why that is here. What we learn is one of our main characters here. Her name is Erica Slaughter, and she's the character you see right here on the cover of the book. She's kind of been the central figure in this, as she is the person who comes into these towns and slays these monsters and kills them. Well, here we find out in issue number 4 that these monsters, not everybody can see these monsters. As a matter of fact, it's typically only children, and in which one of the characters here in the book, who has kind of been accused or somewhat been suspicious, being looked at as suspicious because a lot of his friends ended up missing from a sleepover that they had, and he was the only one that lived to tell the story. Now, we learn a little bit more about these creatures and these monsters here, why nobody else can see them or why only certain people can, and why it's kind of an age thing. Yeah, this book is a little ageist. Can you believe that? Altogether, I've liked this series so far. Issue number 4 really reeled it back in because I felt like issue number 3 kind of slowed things down. It seemed like issue number 2 just drug out a little more. I'm glad to see issue number 4 reeled it back in, kind of stepped up that storytelling here in this series. And I'll go ahead and show you a little bit of the art here in this book. And one thing I want to point out is I like this guy right here, this character. He's got an Anthrax shirt on, guys. Hey, I like Anthrax, and I've got an Anthrax shirt, so hey, it works out. But altogether, like, this book was a little bit better, and there wasn't even really any action in this book neither, and that's the funny thing. And this is doing so good. So some of the storytelling going on here has been pretty good. I've liked Something Is Killing the Children. Issue number 1 and 2 were really good. Like I said, issue number 3 kind of fell off a little bit for me. But like I said, they reeled it back here in issue number 4. And if you've read either Reaver or Something Is Killing the Children, let me know what you think about those books down in the comments below. The next one I want to talk about here is The Dark Age, issue number 4. This book is being published by Red 5 Comics, and go ahead and take a look there, and you can see, take a look at some of the imagery they're using here in this book. Kind of some of the stuff that's going on here. So what's going on here, guys, in Dark Age is basically what had happened is all the metal in the world had disappeared. It turns out there was a curse, somewhat, I guess we find that out, that there was a curse set upon the earth, and all of the metal has basically disappeared from the earth. And so it's kind of set things back to the Stone Ages, where people don't have weapons and all kinds of different things like that. This book has been pretty funny. It's got some very funny things in it. Not only the situations, but some of the things that some people say in this series has been pretty good. But here, and the story's been going pretty good too, and they're using a lot of, it's using some pop culture references. There's references to Star Wars in here as well, as some of the people have kind of taken up some of the looks and styles from Star Wars, just different things going on in this book. Very good, as this story is basically taking place in North America between the United States and Canada, but it's something that has largely affected the world, but it's the story is basically centered here in the United States and Canada. Seems like a lot of it's been mostly happening in Canada, but again, a very good story going on here. I think we're probably getting close to the climax of this story. I'm not sure if this is going to be an ongoing or if it's going to end here. One of the things I forgot to mention here right off the beginning was who to give credit to. This was created and written by Don Handfield, art by Leonard Rodriguez, colors by Digio Lima, and lettered by DC Hopkins. The cover art is Nicholas Ellie, edited by Todd Smith. Costume concept is artist is Giovanni Tan. Special thanks to Jay Hanfield and William Schindler, associate professor of anthropology and archaeology at Washington College. There's all kinds of people that listen here. Pat Nave, who's a pro student of medieval studies at Cornell University, and Dr. John Lucas is a medical consultant for Red 5 Comics. We got Scott Chitwood, Joshua Starnes, and Paul Enns. I'm going to show you those because they, like I said, here you can see all those names right there. They put time into actually consulting people about what would happen if all the metal in the world were to disappear. That's kind of what we get here. Kind of the things, medical procedures that you would go through, what people would do for weapons if something like that was to happen. A lot of those things, they put some thought into this book, and I kind of like that. And this story kind of reflects that. Like I said, you can see, you've seen some of the art in here, some of the things going on here. It kind of really reminds me of, I don't know, how would you say, almost like an Indiana Jones meets a futuristic world in which I don't know, maybe like a futuristic Indiana Jones. Been pretty good. Like I said, this is another one I'll probably do when we get to another issue or get to the end of the series. I will do more in-depth reviews on. And let me know down in the comments below if you guys have read Dark Age, and if you would like me to do more reviews on all of these books. Just let me know at any time. I'm more than happy to do reviews here on the channel. That's what I do. The next one I want to talk about is Shoplifters Will Be Liquidated, issue number 3. This is on Aftershock Comics, one of my favorite comic book publishers that I've found this year, doing indie titles. This book is being written, the writer and co-creator is Patrick Kindlon. Stefano Simeone is the artist and co-creator. Hassan Atsmani Elhau is the letterer. I know I butchered his name. Stefano Simeone is on the cover arts, and the logo designer and production is Charles Pritchett, and Mike Martz is the editor. I'll go ahead and show you those names right there. You can get a little bit of the artwork. This isn't typical what happens in the book all the time. This right here, this is just kind of when we get some of the characters thinking introspectively, I guess you could say, at times when they are alone. Here we got a little bit more of the art. This is in the underground, the underworld, if you will. So what's going on in this story is we find that this is kind of like, if you work in retail, you know, like at a big box retailer, this story is something that you'll probably find pretty funny. That's something that I've found quite funny about this, is basically telling this story about this futuristic dystopian type of future in which it seems like this big box retailer is kind of in charge. Their name is called Caucasus. It seems like they're kind of in charge of a lot of things here. They have, you know, it's like I said, it's like a big box retailer, like a Walmart or a Target or, you know, anything like that. And they have these asset protection managers, you know, or these asset protection specialists who go through and they employ like some of like the most brutal tactics to discourage people from stealing, and just all kinds of stuff going on here. Really good story that's going on in here. It cracks me up. It makes me laugh, some of the situations, some of the things that's going on here, where the main character here is an asset protection specialist, and he takes his job very seriously. He is a trained assassin. Very good stuff going on here. Issue number 3 only, and it's been good. A good 3 issues so far in this series. Again, one I think you guys should check out, and on one of my favorites publishers, that is on Aftershock Comics. The next one on Aftershock Comics, and like I said, if you want me to do more in-depth reviews, let me know. On Shoplifters Will Be Liquidated. On Aftershock Comics is You Are Obsolete, issue number 4. This book is being written by Matthew Klickstein. He's the writer and creator. Evgeny Bornyakov is the artist. Lauren Aff is the colorist. Simon Boland is the letterer. Sal Cipriano is the logo designer. Charles Pritchett is on production. Christina Harrington is the editor. Main cover is by Andy Clark with Jose Villarrubia. And I'm going to show you those names because I know I butchered some of those names for sure. This book has been pretty good. This book is basically telling the tale of this lady. She's a journalist who is basically she had a pretty good job. She was a well-known journalist, and social media, and that's the cool thing I like about some of these books, is social media and cancel culture basically canceled her out of a job. She couldn't get a job or anything, and then she got employed. She got asked to go to this small island overseas to go write a story about this town, and this town is kind of being run by children. And that's what we find. These children have basically created an app in which they kind of decide, you know, when basically once you reach 40, you become, you slip into obsolescence, and you are obsolete. That's kind of what's going on here throughout the story. It's been pretty good. It's kind of not really necessarily a horror tale, but more like a thriller. I kind of liked it. Maybe kind of like a psychological thriller, maybe somewhat. Just some cool things going on in this book. Seeing as this journalist is kind of learning about these kids, these town, what's going on in here, and how these kids are kind of running this small town. And you are obsolete. Again, I've really liked this book. One, I think if you're into I don't know, social, like, I don't know, I guess like social things like that, like with social media and technology and all that stuff, how it kind of affects our society. This book is kind of telling a little bit of that tale. I've really liked You Are Obsolete as well on Aftershock Comics. And if you want me to do more in-depth reviews on that, please let me know down in the comments below. The next couple I'm going to talk about here are on Aftershock Comics. This one right here is Heist issue number 2. This is once again another one of my favorite books that have come out. Vault Comics has been my favorite indie publisher of the year, I would say, for the amount of great titles they've put out. Heist issue number 2 is no different. I didn't do a full-on review of Heist issue number 1 here on the channel, but basically what we've got going on here is we've got this character who just got released from prison, and he's putting together a team to steal a planet. And it's something that he's actually done before, as he actually stole this planet and ended up selling it out to a big corporation. So a lot of people hate him. A lot of people don't like him. That's what's been going on in this story. This book is being written by Paul Tobin. Arjuna Susini is the artist. Vittorio Estone is the colorist. And Saida Temofonte is the letterer. I'll go ahead and show you that title page there with some of the art. Again, very good book. I like this book. I like the art in this book. It's telling like this really great tale here of this guy. These first 2 issues have been introducing us to the main character, and then him starting to assemble this team so he can pull off this heist with this team of people that he's assembling. And that's really largely what this one is all about, is him getting the team together and kind of discussing his plan and exactly what they want to do going forward in this mission to steal a planet. I like this one. The story's really good. The character setups are really good. The situation seems great. The art in this book is good. Again, guys, I've been a big fan of what Vault Comics has been doing, the books they've been publishing since they started back in 2016. It's only been a few years. Doing a great job here. I like this book. I like what they're doing. Something I think you guys should definitely check out. Heist, or How to Steal a Planet, issue number 2. Now, the last book that I have that I want to talk about is another one on Vault Comics, and that's Sera and the Royal Stars, issue number 5. And guys, this one is another one of my favorites I've really liked. This book is being written by John Sui. It could be Tsui. I'll show you in a minute. The artist is Audrey Mock. Raul Angulo is the colorist, and the hardworking Jim Campbell is the letterer. And Karina Plaja is the assistant colorist, and I'm going to go ahead and show you those names right there with a little bit of the art that you can expect out of this book. Guys, this book has been really good. I like Sera and the Royal Stars. It's a good fantasy tale about Sera here. She is the main character here in the story, as she's going out and fighting against these bad guys, like right here. These, God, what are they, the sons or the daughters or the family of the Draconis or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But basically what's going on is Sera has been set out on this mission to free these royal stars. And these royal stars are basically the constellations kind of in human form. They've been trapped on Earth, so the seasons can't change. Basically Sera's country, their land, she's basically the lead of the army that her father rules in Parsa, which is in Persia. They are, the seasons haven't changed. Their people are in famine. They're hungry. They're starving. They're just leaving in very bad times because these royal stars have been enslaved and trapped on Earth. So the seasons can't change. So it's affecting her family. There's wars being started. A lot of bad stuff going on here. But Sera is out there doing the work to make things right and free these royal stars. And this book right here, issue number 5, I'm guessing issue number 6 is going to wrap us up on the first story arc. This book has been really good. It's pulling on lore from like the astrology, like the star constellations and things like that. I've really liked that about this series because it's not only a fun fantasy tale that's really well written with great characters, but it's also kind of giving you a little bit of an education here as well. Again, and I can't even speak about this book, say enough good things about this book because I like the art in it. The coloring is really good. The story's been really good. I mean, just a really good quality book that I've quite enjoyed, and I think you guys might too if you're like fantasy tales or anything like that. Again, very good book. Sera and the Royal Stars, issue number 5. One I think you guys should definitely check out. And that's all I've got for my indie comic books this week, guys. Again, you guys know, my channel is the Second Street Marvel. Yeah. I mean, Marvel has to do with more than just comics, but I do love Marvel comics as well. But I have really been getting into these indie books as well, and I like talking about them because some of these, we see some of these writers and everything from start off in these indie books doing their own titles, creating their own things, and then some of them end up getting jobs with DC and Marvel as well. Some of the big two, writing some of our favorite, more of our favorite characters out there in the superhero world, and hopefully some of these writers, if that is their prerogative, will end up getting some of those jobs in the future because largely the big two has had their struggles with writing really great stories like I get out of a lot of these indie books. But that's all I have for the books now, guys. Like I said, I've got this package right here that I'm going to open up for you guys and show you guys what's inside of here because there's something, one of these books that I've been reading that I've quite enjoyed. I seen this thing on online the other day, and I just had to take advantage of this. I had to go ahead and go out there and buy this up as soon as I seen it. And I shared a link on my Twitter. I think I believe it was about a week ago when this thing came up on my Twitter feed. So I'm kind of excited to open this thing up for you guys, show you guys what this is. And I ordered. You'll see. Here we go. Okay, it's got my name. It's got my address. So let's see here. I'll get this thing all opened up, man. Dang it! This thing's they protected these books pretty good, and I'm glad too, because hey, these aren't these are special books. These you're not gonna find these at your local comic book shop. As a matter of fact, these books were only available through that tweet that had got sent out from one of the creators of this book. And let's see, is that open enough? No, we're still taped up here a little bit. Okay. And again, this is good because it just got sent through the mail. It didn't come from too far from me, so it got here pretty quick, and I'm glad about that. But here we go, guys. Oh man, whew. I guess if I send out comic books, maybe I need to do as good as these guys done with this. All right, here we go. This has to be it. This has to be the final straw. Okay. Come on. There we go. Man, now we got more. We just barely got through the cardboard on these. Okay, that they protected them with. Oh man, awesome. They did a good job doing this, man. Maybe I should get a knife or something to to take these to take this up and open it up and show you guys. There we go. Okay, now here we go, guys. Oh man, even more tape. Maybe I should have got a knife. I should have just got a knife. And I don't have one near me for you guys to check out, but I do have this pen. Maybe I'll just use this pen. Puncture through that little piece of tape right there. There we go. And here's what we got, guys. Again, these are exclusive. You can't find these in your local comic book shop. But oh man, look at that. That's beautiful. That is Resonant issue number 1. This is an alternative cover, and it's even signed right there. Bam! Went ahead and got these. Bought this online from Twitter from I believe it was DB Andry. You can always go follow him. He's one of the David Andry. He is one of the writers of this book. And guys, I got 2 copies of them. Sometimes you might be thinking to yourself, why would you get 2 copies, Trinity? I don't know. Just to have 2 copies. Maybe I want to eventually give one away. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm not sure if you guys have read Resonant. This is a title on Vault Comics, like I've been talking about here on the channel plenty. Vault Comics has been doing some great work. I'm glad I'm glad that I seen this post because this has been one of my favorite titles of this of this year for several different reasons. But like I said, I've really enjoyed this series. I think you would too if you just give this one a chance. Again, that is Resonance, issue number 1, man. I'm telling you, I like that cover. And again, I was looking, the artist who did this book, her name is L. Lauren, or at L. Daniel. You can find her on Twitter. But yeah, this book was only, God, I think they said it was a 250 issue printing. So there's only 250 of these, and I've got 2 of them, dang it. I've got 2 of them. So I don't know. I'm the proud owner of 2 of these, and they have been signed by, I believe it was by David Andrew that signed these here as well. I mean, he's the one who sent them out, right? So I'd assume it was him. But yeah, guys, I'm pretty excited to have these. Maybe one of these days I'll get into like collecting, and maybe I'll send these books in and have them graded and all that stuff. I haven't really ever done that. I've only got 1 graded comic, and that was because I got it in that mystery box right there from Aftershock Comics. Guys, I don't know. I'm kind of excited. It kind of feels like, you know, I don't know that this book or this series has any like value to it or anything, but I'm kind of happy and proud to be the owner of 2 of these copies, of these signed copies of Resonant issue number 1. Only 250 I've made, so they're at least rare, right? I mean, it's got to count for something. But anyway, that's all I have for this video today, folks. Let's talk down in the comments below. If there's any of these books that I was talking about today that you want me to do more in-depth reviews of, please let me know. Let me know, if you've read Resonant issue number 1, if you've been reading this series. I've really enjoyed it. I like this cover. It's a very beautiful cover, very great book, something that I think a lot of people out there would enjoy. But that's all I have for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Second Street Marvel. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, click the little bell, and all of that good stuff. You know how YouTube works. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Honestly, that's just weird. But while you're at it, make sure you share it with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the Second Street Marvel. You all have a very good day. Have a great rest of your week. Happy reading. Go out and support your local comic book shop, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.